Howdy friends, you're here in the studio with Luke from GuitarIQ.com. In today's video, we're going to check out a fantastic little bass guitar rig that I've just finished putting together with a little bit of help from some of the excellent humans over at EBS. This video is kind of a follow-up to the last one where I covered my top 5 favorite effects for bass guitar, what they are, what they sound like, and why. I ordered things in terms of the signal chain, or at least my recommended starting point for experimenting with your own pedals at home. And I looked at perhaps, my top recommendation for where to start if, you only want to purchase 1 or 2 pedals for your own little pedal board. So make sure to check that video out. In today's video, we're going to go on a little bit more of an in-depth sonic excursion into this pedal board. I've reordered things around to showcase some of the particular things that are unique to these specific pedals that I didn't really touch on in the last video. So hopefully this video is going to be really helpful to you if you're considering perhaps picking up 1 or 2 of these pedals and you want to hear a little bit more about what they sound like, not just by themselves, but also in the context of how they integrate with some of the other effects in the EBS lineup. Hopefully this video is also going to be really interesting to you if you just liked the previous video and want to hear a little bit more about what this pedal board is capable of. So if that sounds good, please click on the like button to let me know and to help nudge along that YouTube algorithm. As always, as we go through the video, feel free to leave any questions, comments, thoughts, or feedback you might have in the comments section below. While you're there, you might want to check out the description. I've left timestamps for this video there so you can jump around to different parts or come back to different parts. And I've also left links to where you can find more information for each of the pedals showcased. So check that out. One last thing before we jump into the video, I warmly invite you to head over to GuitarIQ.com to check out some of the great books and other learning resources we have waiting for you over there. That's it for the intro of this video. Let's head over to the workbench and check out the pedal board. So here we have the bass rig in question. For those of you who watched the last video, this board is going to look pretty familiar with the addition of a few changes and alterations. First of all, I've moved the chorus pedal to the end of the board. This is the UniChorus by EBS. In the last video, I had the modulation running into the overdrive, which is usually my preferred starting point. However, this pedal can run in either mono or stereo. Where I had it before, I was limited to only using that in mono, and I really like being able to have the option of running this in stereo should I desire. It's not necessarily something I'll do all the time when I'm recording, but it's great to have that option there. And as we'll hear in a minute, that stereo chorus tone really does sound thick and lush and fantastic on bass, particularly if you're wearing headphones or listening on reasonable speakers. The second change you'll notice is I've shifted Big Blue here to the middle of the pedal board. This is the EBS Ultimate Drive. As I explained in the previous video, it's the signature pedal by Billy Sheehan. And in many ways, this entire board is structured around this particular pedal. The circuit design of the Ultimate Drive is quite interesting. Unlike many standard overdrive pedals for electric guitar, this is what we might consider a parallel overdrive pedal, meaning that this pedal gives us independent control of the clean signal coming from the bass guitar and the dirty signal being produced by the overdrive pedal. And this is incredibly useful, particularly on an instrument like bass guitar, because we can retain all of the big body and bloom and low end goodness and articulation of our nice, beautiful, clean sound. And then we can just blend in as much saturation as we want to taste. It's a really effective way to do overdrive on bass guitar. However, the Ultimate Drive takes things to another level. As well as independent controls of the clean and dirty mix of the sound, we have 2 independent effects loops. One is going into the clean side of the pedal and one is going into the dirty side of the pedal. So running into the clean sound, we have the OctaBass from the last video. This is an analog octave pedal. And the reason I wanted to run this into the clean loop of this pedal is running it clean just maintains all of that low end thickness and girth without introducing any kind of compression and saturation. On the other side, I have the BassIQ, which you might remember is an envelope filter. And this is running into the overdrive. The reason I'm doing that is I really like stacking an auto wire type of sound into a bit of saturation. It just helps smooth out the peakiness or quackiness pedals like this can produce. And I also really like the ability to be able to blend this auto wah type of effect in parallel with my main signal without it affecting the whole thing. So that's all I really wanted to cover in terms of what's changed from the last video, just to give you a bit of context. To recap, the signal chain goes from the MuiltComp compressor pedal into the Ultimate Overdrive into the chorus, and in the effects loop on the clean side we have the analog octave, and in the effects loop on the dirty side we have the envelope filter. From the chorus pedal today, we're just going to run out in stereo to my audio interface, so we're not using any amps or amp simulators or anything like that. And in terms of the bass sound for today, I'm going to do something a little bit different from the last video. I've set up a few little bass loops within Logic, and using a reamp box, I'm going to reamp those loops through the pedal board, which is going to allow me to adjust things on the fly as the bass is playing. So as we go, I'm not really going to talk through what I'm doing or what each of the controls on each pedal does. This is really meant to be more of a quick and dirty tone tasting, if you will, where we dive in, twiddle knobs, flick switches, experiment with different settings, and just see what we come up with. So hopefully this will give you a bit of an idea of the scope of these pedals and some of the sounds you can get out of them. For loop number one, I'm going to focus on the compressor and overdrive pedals. With the second loop, I'm going to introduce this chorus pedal. And then with the final loop, we're going to experiment with the analog octave and the envelope filter in the loops of the overdrive pedal. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some beautiful bass goodness, courtesy of these fantastic little pedals by EBS. Enjoy. Well, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in today's video. Thank you for sticking around to the end. A big thank you also to EBS for making the video possible. As I mentioned in the previous video, EBS sent me out a bunch of these effects to check out and to feature in some videos, but this wasn't a paid promotion or a sponsored advertisement. No money's changed hands. All thoughts and opinions are my own. As always, if you did like the video, then I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Speaking of other uploads, you might like to check out part 1 of this video. I'll link to that in the description. I'll also link to a review I did of the particular pedal board I used to build this rig. It's the Rockboard Duo 2.1 pedal board, so check out that video review as well. And finally, just a reminder to head over to GuitarIQ.com when you get a chance to check out some of the great books and other learning resources we have waiting over there. Thanks for watching. That's it from me. Stay well, and I hope to see you in the next video.